Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. And it's Dominic's this evening over in Melbourne, Australia. Dominic Papa Sergio is joining me for another chit chat. Good
Mm.
evening, Dominic. How are you doing?
Yeah, all right.
And I understand it's going to be a really big sports weekend coming up.
Oh, definitely. We've got start, the start, or should I say, the soft opening of the AFL rounds, because we have an extra round every year for the last couple of years because the National Rugby League, which is the other code in Australia, they've decided because they're only really New South Wales and Queensland. So what they do is they take most of their teams and they go up to Las Vegas and play some football, play their rugby over in Las Vegas, which leaves the northern states to play while the mice is away.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so it's basically the eight teams, it's eight teams. There's four. The four from New South Wales, or sorry, two from New South Wales, two from Queensland, and they steal a couple of opponents from Victoria, and we go north and play half a round of football, which is the soft opening.
And do
And
the points that they get from that, does
yeah,
that
yeah,
count? That counts.
yes, they do.
Right.
So everybody that's not playing in this has a bye, and the teams that do play get one in a couple of weeks' time, because we have a couple of bye rounds where a couple of teams don't play and they have the week off rather than everybody having a week off. Only some of them have a week off.
Right, right. So it makes it all fair, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody ends up playing the same amount of games as we get towards the end of September, or sorry, the end of August is when everybody catches up. And if you're not in a specific spot on the ladder, you don't get to play in September, which are the finals.
Right. And it's a presumably a build up from now until September,
Yeah. We
points
play
wise and
24
all the rest of
games,
it. Yeah. Yeah. And
and the
you
more you win, the
mentioned,
more.
yeah,
Yeah, you were saying?
you mentioned about the Formula One as well.
Yeah, the Formula One starts this week, and because of the way the calendar goes, sometimes Australia gets to be the first race of the year.
Hmm.
I think it's every 2 or 3 years Australia or Melbourne gets to become the first race of the year, and which is good. It's good for us because
Yeah.
the situation being we have a public holiday on Monday for
Oh.
Labor Day, and I believe every state has a different um, timing for their Labor Day. I
Hmm.
believe it's only in Victoria, and um, I might be corrected. It could also be in Tasmania as well.
Hmm. And does it, so the what day is the race on? Is it on Sunday or Monday?
It's on the Sunday, yes, Sunday
Sunday.
afternoon.
So they got practice Saturday, presumably, and
Yeah,
then
practice. I think there's a free practice on Friday.
mhm,
There's qualifying on Saturday and the race on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, and then get over it on Monday
Yeah,
with
basically.
from the celebrating.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were pointing out on your video at the back.
Yeah, I think it's roughly this little corner here, about there somewhere.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So
Southeast.
Albert's.
It's a southeastern. It's a inner southeastern suburb. It's Albert Park, but it's also part of South Melbourne, Middle Park, and that area. And
And
as you go further, as
yeah,
you go further out, you're basically going south of the city. And as you travel south, you've got what is a really lovely park. It's called Albert Park, and it's got a lake in the middle of it, and it's got a small island in the middle of that park. And it just happens to be the way that um, all the roads seem to just link up.
Mm,
And when you put a chicane here and a few other little things there, you've got a nice little a roadway.
yeah. I in the past I have watched. I don't tend to watch Formula One now. I used to enjoy it in the early days. It's
Mm,
very technical now, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy the saloon car racing as opposed to the Formula One. It seems to be a bit of a parade now with the Formula One.
Mm,
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. It's great. It has you sitting on the edge of your seat, but
mm,
I think I prefer a bit of a tussle rather than a
mm.
parade and the timings. I mean, it's really really technical, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I must say that I think I can only watch like two or three of them because of the time difference.
Mm,
There's one, and that's in Melbourne, which is my
yeah.
time zone.
Have you ever
Japanese
been?
Grand Prix.
Uh,
Yes, I did in 2000 and I've been 4 or 5 times. I think
uh-huh.
the last time I went was about 2019,
Right.
I
Oh,
think.
not so very long ago then.
Yeah, we've had it for 30 years, I believe.
Wow. So great changes in those 30 years in the technology and the everything to do with Formula One. I mean,
Oh, definitely.
yeah, it's quite a with the carbon fiber cars now and the yeah, it's quite mind-blowing of the technology, isn't it?
Yeah.
And have you ever been able to, with what you do, with your drone filming, have you ever been able to um, be allowed to do that at the Formula One or any big sports events?
No, because there's a lot of paperwork that's got to be done for these sort
Oh,
of things. But I have been able to fly around Albert Park, but
events on.
not when the event's on. Yes.
Oh, that's a bit of a shame, but I can understand. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of paperwork
yeah.
because
Red tape after red tape
oh,
after
definitely
red
because
tape.
yeah, but there's so many different levels you've got to go
Yeah.
through, and you don't know who you're speaking to because you've got the broadcaster. Well, I'll do it for Formula One. I believe the broadcaster is Channel 10, and then
Mm,
I think you've got to find some way of getting through that. Then you've also got to speak to the FIA, but secondly, you've got to get a CAMS license and CAMS approval. And that's the easier part. The CAMS license is fairly simple, where you basically I think you sit a test. You've got to grab an understanding of that, and then you've also got to have some other paperwork. And then, as with every permit, you've got to pay money.
yes.
And the more money you pay, the more things you get these days.
Yeah. Kind of a it's a bit of a backdoor thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
But obviously the safety
the,
element,
the
you've got to
permit does take a bit of a back seat.
mm,
When you've got the money, it's easy to study for some of these things,
yeah.
and that's always the interesting issue because I've actually looked at various different permits that you've got to purchase, and one things that I've found is the permit itself or studying for the permit itself doesn't seem to be that hard,
Mm,
but it's always coughing up
the
those
rest of it.
dollars.
Yeah. And presumably there are different permits for different things that you perhaps
Yeah,
want to do.
you've got very yeah, you've got you've got you've got different permits, and if you're going to do some of these, any motorsport, one thing that I have noticed, and I did look at it, because there are different motorsport angles out here, you have to have a working with children permit as well
Like a
for
CR,
some reason.
CRB. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Well, we call it WW, working with WWC, and there's an extra letter in there somewhere.
yeah.
But yeah, for some reason we have to have a police check, a working with children check. You got a
Right.
public liability. You got to have a
Yeah.
white card, which I already have, white card for construction. And then on top of that, to do other motorsports things, you've got to have the CAMS license as well. So you've got to keep going down the levels, down the levels, down the
Yeah.
levels, and you just keep trying. You just keep. It's a race to the bottom, honestly,
Mm. And
with the
presumably
amount of
then,
permits.
with all the permits, they have to be renewed.
Some of them are perpetual. Some of them are 5 years, and some of them are 2 years.
Right.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
The ones that I've some of the ones that I've got are in perpetuity until revoked. So if you do a bad thing,
Yeah.
they cut it, but there's no there's no effective renewal until you've made a huge error.
Mm.
But other than that, most of them are in perpetuity,
Mm.
which is good. Some of them because you pay a lot of money for, obviously. It'd be good
Yeah.
that they are pretty much a lifetime thing. There are some of them that I think are 2 years or 3 years. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
And because I've gone through a list of
I'm
permits
sure.
that you should have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I suppose it's one of the things that one would look at,
Mm,
obviously with what you do, and having an interest in the sports. Yeah.
yeah.
It
But
was,
then but then there's the other ones. There are other ones that you have to get media accreditation, and then you've got to get various other things, and you've got to then contact some of the broadcasters, and then some of the other issues as well
mm,
on top of that. And then you've got to get, permission from one, from permission to another, and each of them have to sort of like work in with each other.
yeah, it's quite hard work. I suppose the same really. If you're a photographer, the safety element obviously with the drones, and you've got the helicopters doing filming, and you've got all that I suppose to sort of dice with.
Mm.
So it's like it's
The other thing one thing that I did find out, which I thought was strange, not strange, but it's starting to, um, it's starting to permeate into modern society, is when you look up certain things, you'll see a little thing that says drone policy, and I'm going, oh, that's good, because I feel that there has to be a social license,
mm,
because I feel that there's a lot of people out there that seem to have a dislike for this piece of technology. And I think that there has to be a turning point where people will certainly feel a lot better about it. And then there are people there are people out there that need to be a little bit more activist in terms of it. And I'm not saying activist in a nasty way.
no,
I'm
no,
just saying
no.
activism in a fact that this is a great piece of technology that
Mm,
will certainly take its place, because when you actually look at the cost of a helicopter is what, $3 or $5 million,
yeah,
and there are certain elements that you can purchase, which is what's called a drone in a box, and it basically comes in its own almost hermetically sealed weatherproof container, and when it just opens up, you program it and it gets sent out. And that's
mm,
probably a tenth of the cost, probably
yeah,
even less than that, a
yeah.
tenth of the cost of a helicopter.
Mm,
Okay, the only real drawback with something like that is the distance that it can go. It can't go that far.
no.
So it's the only drawback for the helicopter, and the helicopter is probably better in stronger wind. But other than that, you can refuel these pretty quickly.
Mm.
Come in, they're not refueled, they're
They're
battery
recharged.
charged. Yeah,
Yeah.
just another battery charge. Bring it in, put it in,
Yeah.
new battery, bang, we're out again.
So what's the distance? So presumably the smaller drones, the sort of non-commercial but sort of middling, because you've got the enormous drones, haven't you,
Yeah,
that have got
when I
great
say
scope.
drones, I'm talking about consumer drones under 2 kilos.
Yes, yes. So you've got I suppose not a great deal of distance that you can use.
Well, there are claims that they can do the technology claims that it can do 10 kilometers.
Okay.
Mm.
I thought you were going to say less than that, but okay. Mm.
But in essence, you could probably two or three, really. But then you've got other rules and regulations and other regulatory issues because if you only have visual line of sight or VLOS, it's only as far as you can see, and that's usually 200 or 300 meters.
Yeah.
And it has to be the unaided eye. You can't use binoculars.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can. There are other regulations where you can use BVLOS, which is beyond visual line of sight, where if you get an instrument rating, then you can fly it a lot further to your rating. But that requires another permit and more dollars.
Oh, well, of course it does.
So another permit, more dollars, more
Yeah,
education,
yeah.
and then you can just keep. And I can only talk about the Australian rules, but I do know a little bit about the
CAA.
CAA in the UK because I know a number of people that live over there and are very well schooled in the CAA laws over there. And
Mm,
I must say, when I've done a comparison, most of them are similar. There are very similarities, and I can only say the CAA, the FAA, Transport Canada, and CASA, which is the Australian one. There's a lot of crossovers,
mm. Well, I suppose it
and I
makes
would
sense
say
that there are.
easily 80, 85%. There are a
Mm,
few things that are slightly different and there are different levels, but there are things that are very similar, but also some of the terminologies might be just a little bit different in name, but they are the same in the actual
mm.
um, terminology. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's quite an in-depth topic, isn't it? A fantastic tool to use for all sorts of things. Um,
as you can see behind me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes. And yeah, it's there's some great shots that you've got there. So
Mm.
going back to the sports for the weekend, are you gonna sort of hunker down and watch some of them, or are you
Well,
going out to see
I'm
them?
watching one of them because my team is involved in one of them. Yes.
Ah, right. Your team being,
My team is the Hawthorn Hawks, and
there
that's
we
where I've
go.
stolen part of my business name from.
Yeah, why not? And a drone is a hawk, really, a
Yeah,
motorized hawk, isn't it? So,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So you're not actually going out to either any of the games or
No, because
the F1,
this one is in Western Sydney,
right?
and that is a
A little
10
way
hour,
away.
yeah, about 10 hour flight. No,
Yeah,
sorry, 10 hour flight. What am I talking about? 10 hour drive, I meant to say.
yeah,
It's only
yeah,
about a 2 hour flight.
yeah. Not so good when you've got great high humidity, I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
Which you were talking about. You
Yes, we
said
were
the
talking
temperature
about
was
that
quite low,
earlier.
but the humidity was about 100%.
Near 100%, yes.
Yeah, an absolute killer. Yeah,
Mm,
it saps you from
Oh,
all the energy
definitely.
that you might have, you just sort of um
Mm,
a mess.
yeah,
Yeah, not good, not good. But Dominic, it's been great having another conversation with you, and I wish your team well in
yep,
their match at the weekend, and hope that they come up trumps. Let's say,
yep,
yeah, it'd be good to have a win, wouldn't it?
yeah. It's always good to win at the win the very first one.
Yeah, yeah, and then have to wait. I'm presumably there are different stages through to September when the finals are.
Yeah, yeah. That's the end of August.
End of August. Okay.
Yeah, we play one game every week.
All right. So it's and do they train in between?
Yeah, yeah. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right. So do you ever get down to the training camp, or have you been to the training
Sometimes,
camp?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet
It's
that's
only about a
interesting to see the
40-minute
different.
drive.
Oh, well, that's not too bad. Yeah. And is it an open for all that you anybody can go down to?
Generally.
Hmm. If you know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
generally is. And it's sort of like if they see someone a little bit suspicious, they
Yeah.
sort of
Out.
push them on. But there
Yeah.
are certain areas now, the way the way the training venues have been built these days up against what they used to be built like. Many years ago they were just out in the open, but now some of them have a sort of a closed training,
Mm.
so they can train inside where everybody's
Nobody can
away from
see.
prying eyes. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's no, can't share any secrets, of course.
no, definitely.
No, no. Don't want any other team catching on to what you're doing. Of course
Mm,
not. Oh dear. But it's been another great conversation with you, Dominic. Thank you for your time.
yep,
And I suppose it won't be long before you're hitting your sack
probably
as we
about 10
speak.
minutes.
Well, there we go. Yes. So what time is it with you?
20 minutes to 10 p.m.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I caught you just in time.
Yeah,
Um,
just at the right period. So,
yeah, yeah. But well, it's good to have a say another chat with you, and thank you for your
yeah,
time, and have
I'll
a
say
good
good
night's
morning.
sleep. Yes, good morning. Yes, it's 20 to 11 here, so
Yeah,
yeah, our day is just starting. So yeah, catch you sometime during the week, I suspect.
yeah, obviously we'll see you sometime.
Thank you very much, and I hope all the viewers enjoy our conversation. Thank you
Oh,
again.
definitely. So, hello to everybody then.
Thank you, Dom.
Bye bye.